Facts about every zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be sharing a fact about every zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2. This will be the part 3 of our series. The last part of this series we talk about the pirate seas up to Wild West zombies, so let's just continue. But before we start, my friend Walnut is asking you to subscribe. Please click that subscribe button. It's free, and it will help me a lot. So, the world next to Wild West is Frostbite Caves. I first need to mention this one. Cave Zombie. They are the only basic zombies that are immune to any frozen effect. Instead, when you try to freeze them, they just get slowed down a bit. So, if you're thinking about using an iceberg lettuce to freeze zombies in Frostbite Caves, you might want to think twice. Even though iceberg lettuce can still make cave zombies slower, it won't stop them completely. It's not the best strategy to use against them. The first special zombie you'll encounter is the hunter zombie. Its main job is to freeze plants. But here's something interesting, the hunter zombie can't freeze plants like cold snapdragon, which is part of the winter mint family. However, it can freeze plants like snow pea and winter melon, which also belong to this family. This doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I suggest using fire plants instead, they work better against hunter zombies. Here's another weird thing, if a puff shroom is disappearing and the hunter zombie freezes it right before it disappears, there will be no puff shroom in that ice. This takes me a lot of tries to do. Maybe this is just a visual bug. It's the only way you can have a frozen plant without a plant actually being there. Next up is the Yeti Imp. About a year ago, I made a video talking about the fastest zombie, which the winner is zombie chicken. Now, let's talk about its opposite. Did you know the Yeti zombie is actually the slowest of all the imps? I swear not many people seem to notice this detail. When it comes to zombies in general, it's hard to say definitively who's the fastest or slowest because there are so many different types. That's why you need to pay attention to the little details in the game. Now moving on, let's talk about the Dodo Rider zombie. This zombie rides a dodo and has a unique ability to fly over certain plants like walnuts. Did you know that the Dodo Rider zombie is inspired by the extinct dodo bird? In the game, this zombie can fly, which is different from real-life dodos that couldn't fly because they were flightless birds. Another thing, if you hypnotize a Dodo Rider zombie and it starts gliding, it won't stop even if it spots other zombies. It will just keep gliding to the right until it disappears off-screen. That's why it's not recommended to hypnotize this zombie. Also, when a snap pea eats a Dodo Rider zombie, it spits out the imp's head instead of the dodo's head. This is probably something not many players are aware of. Furthermore, if you use Shrinking Violet on a Dodo Rider zombie, the imp riding it will vanish. This makes sense because shrinking the zombie also shrinks the imp. And if Snap Pea eats a shrunken Dodo Rider zombie, Snap Pea will still throw the imp head although the imp has disappeared. However, the imp head will appear to be very tiny, much smaller than usual. This is the only way you can see a shrunken imp head. Let's talk about the next zombie, the Troglobite. This zombie always appears with frozen blocks containing Yeti imps inside. If more than one Troglobite spawns in the same lane, their frozen blocks will stack up, and they can push them together. If you have Olive Pit, you can use it against this zombie. Olive Pit is a strong counter for Troglobite because the zombie can't push its ice block past the oil that Olive Pit creates. Instead, the Troglobite will leave the ice block and walk through the Olive Pit without it. This is one of the purpose of Olive Pit. So if you get Olive Pit, use it against this zombie. Now we got the Weasel Hoarder zombie. Well, there is nothing to share about this zombie, because they are just the same like the Chicken Farmer zombie. Just like the Chicken Farmer zombie, if you stun the Weasel Hoarder zombie, it won't spawn any weasels at all. This makes stunning them a very good way to defeat Weasel Hoarder zombie. So Primal Pea Shooter is a good choice for this zombie. cause every attack from it is a stun. And it's just a free plant that you can get in Jurassic Marsh. Now we got the Weasel Hoarder Zombie, which only spawns from the Weasel Hoarder Zombie. The Ice Weasel is quite similar to the Zombie Chicken, but it's tougher. The Ice Weasel has 40 health, and the Zombie Chicken only has 1 health. This means a pea shooter can defeat a Zombie Chicken with just 1 pea, but it takes 2 peas to defeat an Ice Weasel. And also, we all know that when a zombie steps on a slider, it moves to another lane. However, Ice Weasels can cross over any sliders. It seems they're either too light for the sliders to affect them or they're just incredibly fast. Then next zombies is Sloth Gargantuar. It's a unique zombie because unlike other Gargantuars that usually carry 1 imp on their backs, the Sloth Gargantuar is the only one out 3 imps on its back. So it's at almost 400 health, still not comparable to the toughest Gargantuar in the game. So next world we have the Lost City. We're just gonna skip the Adventurer zombies, cause there is nothing special about those zombies. The first special zombie you can encounter is the Pilot Zombie. Here's something interesting, the blubber can blow away any zombie that's airborne or flying. However, it doesn't work on the Pilot Zombie, even though he's floating in the air. Instead of getting blown away, he will just drop down and start walking. When the Pilot Zombie is hanging in the air, he can't eat low plants like spikeweed and spike rock. This also applies to plants like hypnoshroom, chili bean, and shadowshroom. It seems like he just doesn't want to eat these plants. The Pilot Zombie is similar to the Bungee Zombie from the first game. Earlier, I mentioned that the blubber can't blow away this zombie while he's hanging. But, there is another plant called the Draftidal that can handle him differently. While the blubber can only drop the Pilot Zombie to the ground, the Draftidal can actually blow him off the lawn completely. The reason behind this difference is not clear. Now let's talk about the Excavator Zombie. This is one of the most frustrating zombies in the game. Its ability is quite powerful and can be very annoying. The Excavator Zombie can block any straight projectile coming at him, like the peas from a pea shooter. So, a good strategy is to attack him from behind. The best plants to use against him are lobbing plants, such as the cabbage pult, because he only has defenses in front of him. Here are some more facts about this zombie. Removing the shovel, you can get rid of the Excavator Zombie's shovel by planting a bramble bush on the same tile where the Excavator Zombie is standing. After doing this, the Excavator Zombie will no longer have a shovel. Eating underground plants, even without his shovel, the Excavator Zombie can still eat most underground plants. The game seems to think he still has a shovel, which is why he can still interact with underground plants. This also applies to the guacadile and cactus. Hurricane, a plant will still get shoveled up if you use a hurricane to push back an Excavator Zombie while it is in the middle of digging. This is a small detail that many people might not notice. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. And see you on the next one.